Hello and welcome to Cutting Words. I'm Brad Thompson and today we have a video for you. Sorry about the delay. There's been a bit of delay in videos lately. I was being very busy running a game. I do run games as well as just talk about games, you know. D&D adjacent, I ran a LARP, live action roleplay event at Spookers, a haunted house attraction here in Auckland, New Zealand. So we ran a LARP called Crown of Ash. And that was quite successful. That was ran last weekend, so that was very cool. Here's a picture of me from the event as a dead mind flayer. So there we go. So I run the odd event like that, big event, a bunch of folks come along and play, dress up as characters, a good time, and I wrote and ran that with my co-SD Rowena there. So that's what I've been up to. Been very busy. I'm very behind my videos, so let's get back into it. And yeah. We got a new Irish Arcana for the latest One D&D Playtest. We've got Druid and Paladin classes. Very exciting. I've played a Druid for a longest time in a campaign. It was a very long campaign. Off and on again. I feel like 5-year campaign. Something crazy like that. And which was a very low level campaign actually, which was great for Druid. We'll get into that soon. And the Paladin, which it's probably my most played class actually. I've every time I was like roll up your character. Let's go Paladin, eh? Paladin is fantastic class. Yeah. So we'll go into more detail when we get to the Paladin, see what's changed there. All right. Without further, let's get up the One D&D Playtest Material, and we'll see what they've got on offer. Obviously, it's a playtest document. Things will change. So just looking for initial feedback. And they're going to try different things, so no doubt this will definitely not be the final versions of these. Alright, let's see how we go. Also note, there was a video released shortly before this playtest material came out, kind of detailing some of the changes that were made based off past playtest feedback. The Ardling race that they've gone through a few revisions of throughout the playtest is gone. That's out of here. I mean, every iteration I saw of it, I was like, this is hardly, it's not long for this world. So that is gone. The animal-headed people and other changes so far in. They're very, like Goliath and Dragonborn changes. Everyone's very happy with those. The getting inspiration on a 1 on a D20, that's gone. So it's just a DM awards it, or if you're human, you get those. Those are some of the changes they mentioned there. Let's go into this document now and see what they got for us. So, let's see. Druid and Paladin. What's new? That's new spells. And we've got a glossary there. Alright. Place material. Yes. Keys of Gone Vault. That's also adventure anthology that's just come out. That book. I haven't read it yet. I'll probably be reading that immediately after this video and also do a review of that. So, stay tuned for that one. Anyway. Okay. So, upcoming playtests will have eventually they'll do these for every class. Also note, the playtest material packets here, apparently they've changed the process of how they're going to do this. They're going to do less releases, but chunkier releases. So, so this one is just the 2 classes, but apparently future ones might have, like, say, whole bunch of classes or lots of stuff in it, and they're gonna do so like every other month as opposed to monthly, but more in them. So yeah, expect I don't know, chunkier, longer videos from me here covering them, or perhaps I might cut them up and have like just each kind of section as a separate video. I don't have a thing on how best to do that. Let me know what you'd prefer in the comments below, and I can factor that in to my decisions here. But anyway, so we got all the classes still coming up. So far I've only had we've had the Rogue, the Ranger, and Bard, and the Cleric, and now we have the Paladin and Druid. So we've got the other classes still to go, and revisions on the ones we've had. Got all the subclasses still to come. Apparently another revised species still to come, maybe. Well, they've already done that, but they might do some more. New and revised backgrounds, new revised spells, new revised feats, and new weapon options for certain classes. Which I believe they mentioned that there'll be some interesting weapon options that become apparent when they do the warrior classes playtest material. So looking forward to that one. All right. Gone through, so here's all the class groups. So we've basically done the expert classes, and this completes the priest classes. So far I'm using Paladin being a priest, when traditionally, at least in 5e, Paladin has really kind of outpaced the warriors in fighting capability personally, from my experience. So it should be interesting to see what's changed there. Alright, so I've got mages and warriors to go after this one. Okay. Still no Artificer as part of the core groups. Artificer's off by itself, not in the player's handbook as of yet. And will just be extra as extra expert class option. Alright, skip ahead to the good stuff. The Druid. Class group Priest. Primary ability, still Wisdom, of course. Nature Wizards. Let's see what we got. Nature Priests, I guess. Will be more accurate. Alright, so this is what the class features and things are. A little table here. So we've got Channel Nature. It's a feature, like level 1. Druidic and spellcasting. Nature's Aid. Okay, Druid subclass, so you're standardizing everything to subclasses coming at level 3 for everyone. Alright. Well, there's a whole bunch of stuff there. We'll go through and read what these all mean. So let's come on through. Alright, creating a Druid. So, let's see, we got D8 hit die, still, for the Druid. Let's see. Boy, yeah, that's all the same there. Let's see, you got proficiencies, intelligence, wisdom, it's the same. Choose 2 skills from Arcana, and we're handling insight, medicine, nature, perception, religion, and survival. That sounds the same. Simple weapons, herbalism kit. Armor training, light armor and shields. So medium armor is gone. They used to have medium armor with the caveat that can't be metal. Has to be like leathers or, you know, natural stuff. So they got away with that kind of awkward restriction. So I guess technically if you multi-class or have some way, or you know, take a feat to get the extra armor training, you're good to go. You can wear metal if you really want to, if you want to work for that, but you don't start off with that. You got light armor and shields, which right reasonable way of dealing with that. So it does leave us with a very squishy Druid, just like armor, compared to you know, the cleric, which is probably the closest class to them. And cleric can obviously get up to heavy armor and be quite tanky compared to the light armored Druid here. Alright, see what we got. So the equipment, first level character, okay, start with this stuff, otherwise you can get 50 GP instead to spend. So your Druidic focus, your leather armor, quarter star shield, explorer's pack, a sickle might come up, herbalism kit, and 9 GP. Multiclassing, nothing's changed there. Multiclassing, need 13 wisdom. Let's see, armor trading, it's fine. That's just clarifying the armor trading is armor proficiency. That's rebranded. And I'm covering the multiclassing rules still here. Okay, as a Druid, you gain the following class features. Alright. First level, Channel Nature. I don't think there's obviously a knockoff for Channel Divinity. Channel Nature, I don't know, it doesn't sound as sexy as Channel Divinity. Channel Nature. Like Channel Primal or something like that? Primal Channel? I don't know. I feel like they've used the word nature. They should do something else. The magic of nature infuses you. Tapping into that power, you create various magical effects. You start with one such effect, Wild Shape, which is described below. Other Druid features give additional Channel Nature effect options. Each time you use this Channel Nature, you choose which effect to create from among those you have from this class. Let's see. So basically it's a resource pool we can use to activate certain abilities. Kind of like a spell slot. Bit different. You can use Channel Nature twice. You regain 1 expended use when you finish a short rest, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. You gain additional uses when you reach certain Druid levels, as shown in the Channel Nature column in the Druid table, which basically starts with 2. Then eventually goes to 3, then finishes at 4 uses a day. Well, a long rest that you can get 1 back every short rest. If a Channel Nature effect requires a saving throw, the DC equals the spell save DC from its class spell list. Yeah. Alright, Wild Shape. As a magic action, which I still haven't really clarified what a magic action is. Is it like a limitation of how many magic actions you can do a turn or something weird like that? Or just a descriptor? It's very strange. Anyway, as a magic action, you can transform into a form that you've learned for this feature. You start knowing one form, Animal of the Land, which is detailed in the Wild Shapes section later in the class description. You stay in that form for a number of hours equal to half your Druid level, or until you use Wild Shape again, have the incapacity condition, or die. You can also end Wild Shape early as a bonus action. While in a form, its game statistics replace yours, and your ability to handle objects is determined by the form's limbs, rather than your own. You retain your personality, memories, ability to speak, and Wild Shape. You lose access to all your other features, such as the ability to cast spells. You can continue to concentrate on one, like normal. When you transform, you choose whether your equipment falls to the ground in your space or merges into your new form. Equipment that merges from the form has no effect until you leave the form. Yeah, so they got some templates now, rather than picking any beast you like from the monster manual or what have you. They've got certain templates, so we'll look at those. They'll be at the end of the class. So it's very interesting. Alright. And also note on the channel divinity, which is just channel nature, they've changed it, and they gotta go back and revise that for the clerics. And that where there was an issue with multiclassing in the power level, because you just take one level cleric, and you got the scaling, proficiency bonus scaling ability of channel divinity. And it was quite a problem, so they've now limited it to the class levels instead. Which is what they're doing with channel nature there in their class table. Alright. Got Druidic, so you know Druidic, secret language of Druids, nothing different there. You got that secret language. It might come up, you never know. Let's see, spellcasting. So you got the it's got some recommended spells for you, which are lies. You can totally take if you want, or you could choose some different ones. And when you finish long rest, you can replace your spells. And they got the new. Continue using the One D&D spell preparedness of you to prepare a spell for a spell slot, which I hate, but they keep going with it. Where you've got 3 level 2 slots and 4 level 1 slots. You can prepare only 4 level 1 spells and 3 level 2 spells. You can't say just prepare 2 level 1s and 4 level 2s or whatever. You have to prepare a spell per number of spell slots and at those levels. Which I think is very restrictive, especially when you got the high level spell slots. If you want to prepare a bunch of stuff there just in case, I might prepare 2 options just in case here. You can't. So don't like that at all. I wish they'd just go back to the 5e method on spell preparing, but that's where we're at right now. Alright, so you get wisdom for the spell casting, yep, and you get Druidic focus, yep. So nothing else to change the spellcasting. Alright. Note you got the channel nature and wild shaping from level 1 there for the druid now. Alright, second level, Nature's Aid. You learn two more ways to use your channeled nature, Healing Blossoms and Wild Companion, each of which is described below. So Healing Blossoms is a new feature. So as a magic action, there's that magic action again. You channel healing energy that appears as blossoming flowers. Choose a point within 30 feet of yourself, and spectral flowers appear for a moment in a 10-foot radius sphere, centered on that point. Then roll a number of d4s equal to your wisdom modifier, minimum of 1 die. This point's probably 3 d4s, and add the dice together. The total is the number of hit points you can distribute to creatures in that sphere. You decide the number of hit points that are restored to each of those creatures, deducting the healing from the total. So some AO healing, I mean, if you go back to Eliza, falling down, put them all up on one action. Yeah, it's cute. Yeah, it's fine. There are other options out there though. But there's nothing, again, assuming you can do a magic action and a bonus spell, potentially Healing Blossoms a bunch of people, and then Healing Word someone else, that's outside the sphere. Say, if the whole party was down, you can put them all back up again, I guess. Or something like that. Some options there. But it's fine. Nothing to write home about. Wild Companion. You can summon a nature spirit that assumes an animal form to aid you. As a magic action, you can expend a use of your channel nature and cast a Find Familiar spell. Without material components, when you cast a spell in this way, the familiar is a fae, and it disappears when you finish a long rest. So the optional Find Familiar option for druids from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything book is now mainstay. It's now part of the class properly, and it lasts until you long rest rather than just a few hours or whatever. You get a little animal friend. Yes, and the 5 spell has got a big update, which we'll get to later in the document. We'll cover some spells. So a few spells have had some updates. Yeah, a lot to talk about there. Alright. At third level, you get your subclass, which they got Moon, Circle of the Moon to go over for that one. So we'll look at that soon. Alright, 4th level, you get your feat. 5th level, Might of the Land. Your connection to the land deepens, empowering an animal, the land form of your wild shape. You unlock the forms, climb speed, and multi-attack. So we'll look into that when we get to the template at the end. You gain a feature from the Druid subclass, level 6. Level 7, you get the aquatic form. So basically you get a new water template you can use for your wild shape. 7th level, the swim speed. 8th level, you get the feat. 9th level, you get basically a flying form template to choose from. 10th level, you get a subclass feature. 11th level, you get tiny critter. So become the ability to become a tiny creature. When you transform to wild shape form, you can make it tiny. If you do so, you can stay in that form no longer than 10 minutes. And the damage you deal in that form is halved. So, the templates for that they'll have, which we'll get to momentarily. You can choose small, medium, or large for the animal forms you choose from the templates. Can't do tiny. 11th level, you get tiny, but over 10 minutes. Which is, well, a massive problem, because, well, I don't know, like, I played a Druid for 5 years, and I may be a little biased here. When I played this Druid, it was a very intrigue-heavy campaign, a lot of politics, yeah, espionage and things like that, heists and things, and I found it invaluable. Like, the best thing ever was turning to a little spider, turning to a very tiny, beastie, to sneak in or like follow, get intel, do things like that. And that option's now gone. About sneak around as a spider or what have you. You can no longer do that. And you can do like a very limited case of that at 11th level, which is an age away. So the campaign I played in, like, I think it was like levels 1 through 6, so the course of 5 years. Like, it was like, we were low level for a very long time. There's a low level campaign of intrigue. So yeah, that wouldn't work. That character, that wouldn't work in with these One D&D rules, which is disappointing to see that all that utility. I felt one of Druid's big utilities was being able to choose various animals for the job, and the toolkit's being extremely limited here. But we'll talk more on that when we get to these dreaded templates that we're talking about. Alright. 12th level, we get the feat. 13th level, you get alternating forms. So you can now rapidly shift between a wild shape form and your normal form. If you're in a wild shape form, you can switch to your normal form as a bonus action. You can then switch back to the wild shape form within the next minutes. Alright. As a bonus action, neither switch expends a use of wild shape. So you can basically pop out, cast a spell, whatever, and pop back to your normal form without losing the use of that form. Just kind of pausing the timer on that briefly. 14th level, subclass feature. 15th level, wild resurgence. When you use your wild shape, primal magic radiates from you, allowing you to use your healing blossoms as part of the same use of channel nature. Who cares, but sure. You gain the ability score improvement, or feat, 16th level feat. 17th level, beast spells. You can cast spells in any wild shape form. While in such form, you can perform somatic and verbal components, and you don't need to provide free material components. If a spell consumes a material components, you can cast that spell while in wild shape form. It's a slight improvement of the old one. Before, you couldn't use material components at all, but now you get them for free. You can do that fine as a beast. 18th level Arch Druid. Rather than infinite wild shapes, you now have, when you roll initiative, you regain 1 use of your channel nature. So it's being nerfed a bit there. In addition, the primal magic that you will cause you to age more slowly. For every 10 years that pass, your body only ages 1 year. 19th level your feat, and 20th level your epic boon, which they took our feedback and they have made epic boons more epic because they were not epic before. So not only do you get epic boon, but you also get your ability score increase of 2. You increase ability score by 2, and that can go above 20, but not above 30. So now you can possibly get to 30 when you're playing epic campaigns past level 20, which is nice to see. As well as you get the epic boon feat, you get an epic boon of spell recall or another epic boon feat of your choice. And we'll see those a little bit later, some of these epic boons. Alright, the wild shape templates. So, when you use wild shape, you can transform into a form you've learned for this feature. This section includes 3 forms: animal of the land, animal of the sea, and animal of the sky. As you assume a form, you determine its appearance, selecting an example animal from the form's description, selecting an appropriate animal, or choosing a hybrid form that incorporates visual characteristics from 2 or more animals, aka an owlbear. They really went all out to make sure that owlbear, was possible for the D&D movie. The appearance you choose has no effect on the form's capabilities. When choosing an animal's appearance for a form, the animal needn't be the same size as the form. For example, you could choose elephant for the appearance and small for the size, creating a form that resembles a little elephant. Animal of the land. An animal of the land is a flightless terrestrial animal such as a bear, deer, horse, cat, dog, velociraptor, or big rodent. On this form, you use the animal of the land stat block. Alright, so here we go. Animal of the land, so you can be small, medium, or large, terrestrial land animal. Your creature type doesn't change, so you're still a humanoid. It's interesting. Armor class 10 plus your wisdom modifier. So, starting out will probably be like 13. Cap out around 15. Okay, still not great armor class. Probably going to be on par or lower than your current armor class. In druid form. Yeah, so not great. Hit points. You continue to use your hit points and hit dice. Oh dear. How are you supposed to survive then? As a combat option. That's not going to work then. Alright, so these aren't for combat then, because druids only have D8 hit dice, and yeah, they need those extra, temporary beast form hit points that they used to get in 5e. Without those, I don't know how they're supposed to survive, especially that low armor class. Okay, we'll keep reading. That's very problematic. I don't see how these forms are usable with that. Speed 40 feet, climb 40 feet, requires 5th level plus to get a climb speed. Ugh, that's a long way to wait just to be a climbing monkey or something. Will be a utility. Strength, dex equal your wisdom score. So whatever your wisdom is will determine the animal form strength and dexterity. However, con, int, wisdom, and charisma use your scores. Ugh. Alright. While the int, wisdom, and charisma weren't different, I believe that always was yours. Con, however, was the animal's con, which generally speaking was higher. Right. Senses dark vision, 60 feet. Languages you know. Does it mean you can speak as an animal? Doesn't say you can't speak, just says you know those languages, so I guess you could speak. Proficiency bonus equal your proficiency bonus, sure. Keen senses, you have advantage on wisdom perception checks. Just all your beast forms have dark vision and proficiency and advantage on the perception checks. Actions, bestial strike, melee attack, use spell attack, modifier to hit, reach 5 foot, 1 target, hit 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier, bludgeoning, piercing, or slash damage, you get to choose. And at level 5 plus, you can do that twice. You can get multi-attack. It's basically extra attack, but for druids. So you get to do that twice. With your little bit of damage there. Yes, Animal of the Land. I assume you keep your savings throw proficiencies and you got your skill proficiencies carrying over. What do druids do in combat now? I don't see how turning into an animal in combat is that helpful now. Do? You get multi-attack? Okay. But you are 50 weaker and easier to hit and will just die quicker, I guess. Very strange. I don't know why they did that. And you lost all your utility. All your options are like, I'm going to be a spider. Well, I'm going to be turning myself into a snake so I can wrap myself around someone or do the stuff. Like, all the utility is gone. Okay. let's keep reading. So that's what you get straight out of the gate. You get the animal of the land, and then at what was it? 7th level, you get animal of the sea. You get a new form. Animal of the sea is an aquatic or semi-aquatic animal, such as a crocodile, dolphin, sea turtle, octopus, or shark. While in this form, you can use the animal of the sea stat block. Alright, which we've got up here. Alright, animal of the sea. Small, medium, or large aquatic or semi-aquatic animal. Your creature type doesn't change. Your animal class is still 10 plus your wisdom modifier. Hit points is your hit points. Your speed is 20 foot on land. Swim speed 40 feet. So you could be a land shark. Just wriggle around 20 feet. Dex equals your wisdom score. However, your strength is now your strength for some reason. It must be a typo. It's really weird. Why would they suddenly have strength become yours here? Very strange. Continent, wisdom, and charisma are the same. Dark vision 90 feet. Languages you know. Proficiency bonus equals your proficiency bonus. Amphibious, you can breathe air and water. So you're not going to drown as a fish in the air, or equivalent suffocate as a fish on land. Actions, multi-attack. You make 2 beast or strike attacks. Your spell attack modifier to hit, reach 5 foot. One target hit 1d6 plus your wisdom modifier, bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage. So the lower the die to 1d6 for some reason for your water form. I don't know why they needed to do that. Like, really? They really, like, the water form is too powerful. It needs to be nerfed. We can't have them have a swim speed and deal, you know, okay / suboptimal damage anyway. To less so. We can't have that. That's ridiculous. What? Why? Alright, and Animal of the Sky. So this is your final form. Ultimate form. Here we go. Animal of the Sky. It's a winged animal such as a bat, eagle, falcon, pterodon, or owl. While in this form, you use the Animal of the Sky stat block. So you small, medium, or large winged animal. Your type doesn't change. Your armor class is 8 plus your wisdom modifier. So even lower armor class for some reason. That seems like unnecessary kicking the druid for some reason. I don't know why. Hit points, you continue to use your hit points and hit dice. Yuck. Get 20 foot land speed, 40 foot fly speed. Oof. Not that quick, are you? Flying creature. Dex equals your wisdom score. However, you're still using your strength score for some reason. So you can't even be a flying giant eagle to ferry your party around because you're probably not strong enough to carry them. Because you're a druid, you're probably not going to have much strength. So, okay. Why? Dark vision 120 feet. Okay. Languages you know. Proficiency bonus. Yeah. Flyby. Well, at least you got flyby. You don't provoke opportunity attacks when you fly out enemy's reach, which you'll probably be doing all the time because otherwise you'll die because you cannot take a punch. Keen senses, your advantage on wisdom perception checks, and you get your bestial strikes attack. However, it is a D4 plus your wisdom now modified damage now, as opposed to D6 or a D8. So they're really like, wow, getting that flying form. Well, I think it was 9th level or something. You can't do much with it. Why? Why are they? I don't know why they're downgrading these high level forms. It's because they got an extra movement option. Really, I feel like they should have had the one animal form template here and just upgrade it. You know, you can now gain flying speed. It's the same form stats, but you gain a flying speed at this level. You gain swing speed at this level. Choose one of these options for be it climb, fly, or swim, and then keep it all the same otherwise, because I don't know why. I don't see why they need to nerf the penalize these higher forms for fly speed and whatnot. It seems bizarre and it takes a lot of page space unnecessarily. But even still, I see what they're doing with the templates, try to make things a bit simpler, I guess, so players who want to play Druid don't have to skim through the monster manual, try to find all the beasts, or having D&D Beyond. Definitely helps when you can search beasts and search CR rating, because players need a Druid needs in 5e needs to know the CR rating of a beast to, know if they can transform into it. Look up the appropriate beast. But yeah, they're really taking all that away, simplified it down, took away all the Druid's potential utility and versatility down to this, and yeah, take away a lot of the options. Like, the template doesn't even replicate all the options that they took out. I feel like the template should. If they want to use the template method, sure, I guess it does simplify things. Give the template more options so the Druid can still do all the things they could do before. Don't take away all the Druid's toys because that's all they really had going for them. Don't take away their fun utility stuff they could do. You've taken it all away, or you're taking it away completely, or push it up to so late in the game. Who cares? The wizard's got a spell for that now at that point. Why bother? So yeah, disappointing so far. This druid. I don't know why they're using the same hit points. Or druid. Not gonna survive. Alright, Circle of the Moon. Maybe it's the subclass, the shapeshifting subclass will help them out. Always felt weird how, because they have shapeshifting such a big feature for the druid, and they have one subclass that does more with it, and the rest of them subclasses don't do anything with it. And it's kind of, you know, you either take Circle of the Moon if you want to do combat forms, combat wild animal forms for combat. Otherwise, it's just utility and flavor. Those class features don't bother. You're not doing those. It seems like a weird design for the druid. But the druid should be less reliant on its wild shapes forms. That should be an extra thing to do. Or Circle of the Moon should be built into the main class if it is a, you know, the thing to do is their wild shape stuff. Anyway, let's see what Circle of the Moon does. So now, anyway, druids and Circle of the Moon, draw on the magic of the moon, blah blah blah. They do cool combat stuff. Right, third level, you get combat wild shape. You've learned magical techniques to allow you to transform quickly into channel magical protection while transformed, giving you these benefits. Abjuration spells. While you're in wild shape form, you can cast any spell you currently have prepared from the Abjuration school, provided that spell doesn't require a material component. Okay, so a lot of healing spells are now Abjuration, so you basically can do healing spells. You can figure out a way to get shield spell on your spell list, for a multi-class or a feat, then being like a battle bear, wow, to cast shield or whatever. Sounds amusing. Alright, because shield spell will certainly help survivability, though you don't have much AC to begin with to work with there. Quick attack, you can use unarmed strike as a bonus action, so you can do basically you can do extra punch. There's not the same as the bestial strike ability they could do. This is like a separate thing you can do, which when you get to the end of this document, there is a list of all the unarmed strike things, what they do now. They've updated them a bit, which is basically you can do a little bit of damage, or you can choose to try and shove someone prone or grapple someone. And the rules have changed a few times over these playtests, and we'll go to the latest ones for those at the end. So you can do an unarmed strike thing there, which is probably pushing prone or something. It's like the utility, I guess. Switch transformation, you can use your wild shape as a bonus action or a magic action, but no more than once a turn. That's interesting. So there's no such thing as a bonus magic action, I guess. You can't bonus magic action. No, it's just a bonus action or magic action. Okay, that's kind of like what Moon Druid had before, where you can just bonus action shapeshift as opposed to using whole action. Makes it more practical to use in combat rather than using whole turn just to transform. All right, then at 6th level, elemental wild shape. I'll mention that. So they're getting this duration spell casting instead of before they could just eat spell slots to heal themselves. So that's gone. Instead, they actually need to cast the healing spells themselves if they want to do that. Which is pros and cons there. Anyway, elemental wild shape, channeling ancient lunar magic. You imbue your wild shape forms with power from the elemental planes. Whenever you assume a wild shape form, choose one of the following damage types: acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder. While in that form, your resistance to the chosen damage type and the form's bestial strike can deal damage of that type rather than its normal type. With your choosing between the types you want to hit. Your form also displays signs of the chosen damage type. For example, if you choose fire, your fur and a wild shape might, like with harmless flames, you choose details. So they got away with magic damage, and I wonder if that's an ongoing thing that they're getting rid of. Just is magic slashing damage or whatever. It's instead you choose elemental type, thunder damage, fire damage, whatever, and deal that. Which could be a good tidy up, because like a little monster stat box they go, you're resistant or immune to non-magical bludgeoning, slashing, or piercing damage. It's a very wordy, big mouthful there. So I think they might be getting away with potentially that terminology and just going, you know what, if it's damage, you know, it's either, you know, bludgeoning, slashing, piercing, whatever, that's it, or it's one of these elemental flavors or be it radiant or whatever. And that's what the monster cares about. If it's got any resistances or immunities or vulnerabilities, as opposed to is it magical or not. Because it can be a bit confusing. What counts as magic? Is it mundane or magic, this effect? Anyway. 10th level Elemental Strike. Elemental forces imbue your attacks. When you deal damage with your Bestial Strike, the target takes an extra 1d6 damage of the type you choose from an Elemental Wild shape. This extra damage increases to 2d6 when you reach 17th level in this class. So that's extra damage just on your Bestial Strikes. So 2 Bestial Strikes, not your unarmed one. That's not your Bestial Strike. A little bit extra damage is nice to see, because you're not getting damage up anyway otherwise. Because you're attacking your bestial form, so you can't utilize magic items, which is one of the problems with your wild shape combat form. Is if it's a adventure with, you're playing a game where there's a decent number of magic items around, as a druid, and if you're relying on combating with your beast forms, oh dear, how do you enhance that? Everyone else has got swan swords, etc., and there's nothing for it to help you. So it helps mitigate a little bit, but it's still a problem for them. And at 14th level you get 1000 forms. You've learned to use lunar magic to alter your physical form in numerous ways. You can always have the alter self spell prepared, and you can cast it without preparing a spell slot. Also doesn't count against the number of spells you've prepared. So alter self, so you can shape shifting, so you can impersonate people. But it was there in the original Circle of the Moon Druid. I always found it a bit weird, because it's kind of a bit out of place, even though sure it fits in the shape shifting theme. It's like, okay, so suddenly at 14th level, late game, suddenly like, oh, I can do shape shifting and impersonating people shenanigans that the bard's been doing with this guy's self or whatever from level 1. I can do that too now, finding this late game. It feels like a bit of a character shift, a character change. It's a bit random for the druid to suddenly fall into that space at that point. I don't know. It seems a bit strange to me, the alter self, and also a bit useless at that point at 14th level. So something cooler there. Nice. Also a bit random. Like everything cares about the wild shape form. Suddenly this is tacked on here now. Also note the really cool feature that Circle of the Moon had. It's now gone. They used to be able to transform straight up into elementals. You could choose an elemental stat block from the monster manual and become that elemental. That's gone. Instead, you got the elemental bonuses to the yellow animal forms instead, which is another huge utility thing gone. You can't just turn to Earth Elemental and dig a hole, glide through the Earth or whatever. That kind of utility is gone, which sucks. Why take away the Moon Druid's utility? What are you doing? And yes, that's the Druid. It's the Druid entirety. Got Paladin coming out in a sec. Yeah, I appreciate what they're trying to do, try to make things simple for the Druid, but in doing so, they made an already, and I think I saw in an interview they said Druids were the least popular, least chosen class, and they believe that's because, which probably is true, because you have to figure out all the different animals to play and things like that. It can be a bit difficult to get in the door with Druids. You have to figure out the animals. I mean, just go bear, can't go wrong. Bear and a spider, there's your 2 forms sorted. And I feel like if they had, maybe a snake for when you want to rip someone up. I feel like if they had those extra utility options built into templates or what have you, that could maybe work. Also, it's a fun mini game. Just try to find different animals or to transform to them, learn about different animals, see unlock new forms. And that's all gone. I don't know what the Druid is supposed to do now. Their combat mode is not combating because you use their hit points, they just die. And yeah, what role is supposed to fill? Like, they're going to priest slots, so they're supposed to healing and stuff. I mean, if you compare them to a cleric is a lot tankier, can fill that, and doesn't need to transform to do it. They just sit there in their armor, and kind of does a better job at doing that melee aspect as well as doing healing utility limitation. The Druid has. So I don't see. Yeah, is Druid just a bad cleric? I feel like they need some help here. I think their identity being tied to the wild shape aspect is maybe they need to either part ways with it a bit and just have an extra side feature, or double down on it and actually make it have more utility and beefier. Because yeah, it's a tricky one. Druids, they lost a lot. Like, basically, my druid character I've been playing for yonkers would be pretty much unplayable with this. Like, could not do any of the things they've done before with these rules changes. So that's problematic. So, oh well, that's Druid. Disappointing to see. Where's the utility? And where's the comment? What do you do now? Cast Moonbeam and hide, I guess. And occasionally heal people. Don't transform. It's a death sentence. Don't wild shape. What are you doing? You just die. Anyway, can't use a shield when you wild shape. Just hold your shield up and protect yourself. Alright, Paladin. The Paladin can, yeah, won't be let down like the Druid was. Let's see we go. Alright, Paladin, class group Priest, for some reason. Primary ability, Strength, and Charisma. No change there. Alright, so Paladin. Let's see, here's the table of things. So the Paladin now has cantrips built in, which is, you know, spellcasting for level 1, which, okay, sure. I don't think the Paladin needed the help there, but okay, we'll take it. Especially, I always felt Paladin was the strongest class in the game. They had very few flaws. I think the only flaw was range combat. They couldn't really do much range. They always need to close and be able to close as quickly as possible. Was their only real downside. They have, you know, well, utility and versatility, and charisma, you know, handle the roleplay aspect of the game as well as being great in combat, and very defensive with the auras, which are amazing, as well as, you know, the coolness of smiting and things. So, like, we're a whole very tidy package, very strong. So let's see what they've done to them. It's been some nerfs, but so far they've got cantrips and spellcasting earlier. Okay, I'll take it. Got style. All right. A few new class features, because before there were a bunch of you know, empty spaces here. They've tried to make sure, but they've changed things now to have a class feature on every level. There's something you get going for you rather than leaving it blank, because you gain a new spell slot level instead, and they've actually added things here. So more things, yippee. All right, let's see what we got. So creating Paladin, so 1d10 hit die, thank goodness, still got that. Alright, got Wisdom and Charisma for your savings or proficiencies, you got Athletics, Insight, Intimidation, Medicine, Persuasion, or Religion for your 2 skills to choose from. That's all the same, I believe. Weapons, simple weapons, martial weapons, tools, none. Armor training, you got light armor, medium armor, heavy armor, and shields. No surprises there. Savings equipment, you start with the fun equipment, or you can forgo it and spend 150 GP on equipment of your choice. Yeah, so they start with more money. I'm surprised they haven't, like, somehow evened it out so all the classes start with the same kind of money or something. I guess hard to justify that when some classes just need expensive armor to start the game with, so. You got Chainmail, Priest Pack, Holy Symbol, Shield, Javelin, 9 GP, and a Longsword. Multicasting, Paladin still requires 13 Strength and Charisma. I'm surprised that Strength requirement's still there. I always, like, Dex Paladins should be valid. Why are you devaluing Dex Paladins? You can be dexterous and charismatic and do the Paladin things. Just use a rapier or whatever. So I don't see why that is there still. Oh well. And same, nothing's really changed with multiclassing. You get the your multiclass, you gain the weapons, you gain medium armor, you don't get the heavy armor. And yeah. Alright, class features. So, firstly, we get Lay on Hands. So, you still get that. This touch can heal wounds, your pool of healing power, and that replenishes when you take a long rest. With that pool, you can restore total number of hit points equal to 5 times your Paladin level. As a magic action, you can touch a creature. This is that magic action again. You can touch a creature, which could be yourself, and draw power from the pool of healing to restore a number of hit points to that creature up to the maximum amount remaining in the pool. In addition, you can expend 5 hit points from the pool of healing to remove the poison condition from the creature, rather than using those points to restore hit points. So to remove the ability to cure diseases with your Lay on Hands, And I believe they actually removed the Paladin's immunity to diseases as well. So, I don't know, they're trying to make, well, definitely having Paladin in the party means diseases were never an issue. I mean, they don't come up very often in games anyway, but definitely a Paladin just goes, whatever, and we're all fixed and moving on. So I wonder if they're just opening it up to have diseases be a bigger part or stronger in the game, or perhaps they're just removing diseases altogether because, I mean, we just had a pandemic. No one wants to really do a fantasy roleplay. Diseases or being sick, it's not much fun. So yeah, like, I don't know, they could be going either way with that, with diseases. Who knows? Okay. We've got, also the poison condition is that rather than curing poison, they got rid of the poison condition, which could be a tidy up of terminology just to remove the poison condition, and most poisons may now rely on, if they got poison condition, you got this ongoing damage effects or ongoing other poison effects that might be tied to that, or they might be just nerfing the healing factor here to remove just the poison condition. It doesn't fix other types of poison effects. Hard to say at this point. But yeah, that is a change from before. So Lay on Hands has been, I guess, nerfed a little bit, I suppose. Very minor change though. Right, you've learned to cast spells. We got start with some cantrips and spells, and the long rest you can sort them out using the 1D&D spell mechanic of preparing a number of spells of the same level equal to your spell slots you have, which I dislike immensely, but oh well. I think I've talked about enough. So keep going, scrolling through. Alright, second level, Divine Smite. When you strike a target with your channel, you can channel Divine Energy to smite it immediately after you hit a target with an attack roll using a weapon or an unarmed strike. So that's a big change. So you can now, before, if you manage to disarm the Paladin, get their sword out of their hands or what have you, no longer smite, but now they can actually punch smite. So they can punch someone, smite. Ooh, that, I wonder, gosh, I'm trying to think of a crazy monk build with a Paladin. Oh god, that will never work. But yes, you can now be a punch Paladin. You can punch people and smite with your punch, which is nice to have when you're disarmed or captured or whatever, where your stuff's taken off you. Definitely it's annoying as a Paladin when I don't have anything. Can I just pick up a stick or a rock off the ground and use that as a weapon so I can smite, please? So you can use that using a weapon or an unarmed strike. Also using weapon now, it's being so it's not a melee attack. You can smite with a bow. You can smite at range now. You just hit someone with a weapon. So you can hit that javelin, fire that bow, fire that gun, smite gun, and you can smite now. So that's kind of cool. But also it does remove the Paladin's big range option weakness. I find having weaknesses in classes can be quite fun to work around. Removing that is, I mean, making it, I don't know, more general, more blander. I don't know. It's interesting aspect there. It does open up range Paladin options, but at what cost? Okay, so you can spend one spell slot to deal radiant damage to the target. The damage is 2d8 for the first level spell slot, plus 1d8 for each spell slot higher than first. There's no longer a cap. There used to be a cap. So basically it wasn't beneficial ever to smite higher than 4th level, because I think it was 5d8 was the cap on number of smite dice you can use there. It is now limitless. You can smite with a 9th level spell slot if you somehow manage to acquire one through some munchy multiclass or what have you, and deal more damage, which is pretty cool. And because the cap seemed a little arbitrary, but they've removed the extra d8 you get for smiting a fiend or undead. That's gone. You no longer care about creature type. I don't care what you are. You get the same amount of damage, which is a shame to see. Go. Because that was always fun. Like, is this creature undead? Oh my gosh, smite. Let's go. So I guess they're trying to remove, I don't know, things that care about creature types as much. I don't know. Hope they when they revise the monster, or maybe they've moved that to the monster stat block. So like soon more fiends and undead are vulnerable to radiant damage, or because there's not that many vulnerabilities in the game, honestly. More things that care about various damage types. It's always a fun puzzle to solve in a fight. Going, what damage type we need to use here to best to best beat this opponent. I feel like that's definitely an underplayed mechanic. These different damage types, then you utilize more. Anyway, smite, but also, now here's a big clincher here. You can use Divine Smite no more than once during a turn. You can't use it on the same turn that you cast a spell. So they put a cap on Smite. You can only do it once a turn, so you can't, run up, multi-attack, smite, even bonus action attack, smite again, Nova round. That's gone, which is very sad to see because it was a lot of fun Nova round. That's one of the funnest aspects of being a paladin. Charging there and just blow your whole load, blow all your spell slots in the opening round of combat. Try and blow an enemy away. So now that's gone. Just sad to see. That was a lot of fun. Rolling dice is a lot of fun. However, they can do it outside of the turn. Unlike the Rogue, when they did the Rogue playtest where it was capped at you can only do it on your turn. This is on a turn, it says. So you can actually do this outside of your turn if you have a method of doing that. So you got Polar Master, so it runs into you, Smite or Sentinel Smite or some other method of triggering extra attack outside of your turn. Bard or Distant Whispers, that sort of thing. You can combo get extra smite off that way. But yeah, you are limited in number of smites, so only once a turn as opposed to the 2 or 3 you could get otherwise before. So that's sad to see the limit. Seems like a very arbitrary limit just to nerf the Paladin, I guess. Limit my power. I mean, Paladins, I did say earlier in this video even that Paladins are probably the strongest class in the game and they're very powerful. But take away my fun Nova smiting. It's a shame to see. But even still, Paladin's still very strong, still very good, even with that limit. But yeah, I don't like getting nerfed. My power. Limitless power. Anyway. So that's what's going on with smites. Also you can't cast a spell, which I keeping smites too, but also limiting the versatility of our bonus to cast a spell or something like that. That's extra harsh. Like, because I like to have some options there and it takes away my options because basically I'm just gonna smite every turn. I guess I can't use any of my spells then because I'll be busy smiting every turn. So yeah, limiting my options there. I don't like having my options limited like that in combat. Anyway, that's current roll with Divine Smite. Second level, also you get Fighting Style. You have honed your martial prowess and gain a Fighting Style defense feat. Or you gain another Fighting Style feat of your choice. Whenever you gain a feat at later levels, Fighting Style feats are among your options, even though you aren't a member of the warrior group, which you really should be part of the warrior group. You're the best damn warrior in the game. Sorry, fighters. Paladins are just so good, personally. Yeah, and no qualms about it. No, I'm trying to hide the fact that defense feat kind of is like that +1 AC is pretty good. Just go with that one. But if you want to, you can pick a different style, but extra AC is pretty good. Go for that. Don't pretend to hide that fact. For the fighting style, alright. At 3rd level, you get Channel Divinity. So the Cleric and the Druid effectively gets it at 1st level. Paladin has to wait to 3rd. You can channel Divine Energy directly from the outer planes. Also, just note, while I'm talking about actually Druid there, because the Paladin starts with 2 cantrips, the Druid starts with 2 cantrips, which seems weird to me because the Druid is a full caster and the Paladin is a half caster and they get started with 0 cantrips, which seems baffling to me. Anyway. You channel Divine Energy directly from the outer planes, using that energy to fuel magical effects. You start with one such effect, Divine Sense, which is described below. Other Paladin features gives additional channel divinity effect options. Each time you use this channel divinity, you choose which effect to create from among those you have from this class. So rather than being the Divine Sense being a separate thing you get level 1, that's just got a separate pool you keep track of. They bundle it into channel divinity, so it's channel divinity used to use your Divine Sense. So it's more costly to use. You can't spam it randomly now. You be careful how you use it because it's using an actual resource you might care about for other effects. Yeah, Channel Divinity used twice. You regain 1 speed use when you finish a short rest. You regain all speed uses when you finish a long rest. You gain additional uses when you reach certain paladin levels, as shown in the Channel Divinity column. So 2, 3, then 4 uses a day. Alright, so Divine Sense. So it's now been changed. So now it's a bonus action use. You can open up your awareness to detect celestials, fiends, and undead. Next 10 minutes or later, until you have an incapacity condition, you know the location of any creature of those types within 60 feet of yourself, and you know its creature type. Within the same radius, you also detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated, as with the Hollow spell. So before it was, I feel like it was limited to 30 feet. Am I wrong there? But also the full cover blocked it. A wall blocked it. Someone's hiding it. Vampires hiding in their coffin, couldn't sense them. That's no longer the case. You can now 60 feet, walking around dungeon, walking around a place. You can sense through the walls. Right, there's a vampire over there. There's there's a fiend over there. That sort of thing. You can walk around, and pick the stuff up easily, walking around, which is huge. It's huge. I see that being very, very powerful in a game. And it's a bonus action to cast. Like even when we've had an enemy like a fiend or undead or something turn invisible or hide in magical darkness or whatever, you can use Divine Sense and I know where they are. They're there. Can't hide from me. It's very strong. I really like that. I really like what they've done with Divine Sense. I've definitely in games had the case of, because in the old version, or current version, should I say, 5e, it's an action to use. And I've definitely had to use it once on a vampire that was hiding in magical darkness, and I had to use the action to cast it so I can see where they were. Then it lasts until the end of my next turn, but my action was used. I had to wait around, then I could actually hit them the following turn and desperate times. So definitely it has its uses. So it's a very extreme example. But yeah. Well, there's a secret god around me. I cast Divine Sense. In a crowd of people. What's going on? Anyway. Divine Sense. Big fan of Divine Sense. 3rd level Paladin subclass. You get subclass, which will be Oath of Devotion. We'll see that into the section. Alright, 5th level feat, 5th level extra attack. Also at 5th level you get Faithful Steed. You can easily call on the aid of an otherworldly steed. You always have the Find Steed spell prepared, so you don't have to waste away your precious few spell preparations, especially with the new One D&D spell preps options there on Find Steed. You just get it for free. You'll always have the Find Steed spell prepared, and it doesn't count against the number of spells you can prepare. When you cast a spell, its casting time is an action, so normally it's 10 minutes for everyone else, but for you can just do an action. So mid-combat, if your steed pops, you can resummon it as an action if you want. You can also cast a spell once without expending a spell slot, and you gain the ability to do so when you finish a long rest. So you can do it for free even. That's pretty good. And the Find Steed spell has had some changes, which we'll go into when we get to the spells later in the document. On this 29-page document, I don't think I mentioned the page count there, but we're getting there. We're getting there, guys. Alright, you gain a feature from the Paladin subclass at 6th level, 7th level, Aura Protection. So the Aura Protection, the amazing aura, one of the best things about Paladin, that and the smiting, as we move to 7th level from 6th level, so not a huge sacrifice. I mean, definitely that, you're always looking for the 6th level just to get that aura online. You have to wait one more level, so slight nerf for the Paladin, but not a huge one. So you radiate protective invisible aura that extends 10 feet from you in every direction, but it doesn't count, doesn't extend through total cover. So it never explicitly said that before, but now it does. So the Paladin, there's a wall or whatever in the way, that aura is not going to reach you to help protect you. You and your allies in the aura gain a bonus saving throws equal to your charisma modifier, minimum bonus +1. It's probably +3 or higher at this point. Let's be honest. If another Paladin is present, a creature can benefit from only one aura protection at a time. The creature chooses which one when entering the auras. And yeah, it still affects you, still affects your allies, still scales of charisma. Has some theories floating around where they might nerf it, like maybe it only affects your allies, not you, or maybe might scale something else or be a lower scale, because that saving throw bonuses for you and your friends is really, really good. But no, basically unchanged, just have to wait one more level to get it. Alright then. They nerfed the smiting. The smiting, that's the problem. Aura, that's fine. Really? I found players who, you know, stayed around their paladin all the time. Very hard to land spells on things. Very difficult. But okay. So I ran all of Dungeon of the Mad Mage. All of it. All 23 levels. And yeah, there was a paladin on the team. And it was very difficult. Well, especially it was the, not just any paladin, it was the, oh gosh. The Ancients Paladin that gets, you know, all your friends are just magic as well. I found it very hard to land spells on people. When a campaign about 23 levels of a evil wizard doing evil wizard stuff, it was a challenge. So yeah, so alright. Still around, the amazing aura of amazingness. 8th level, get the feat. 9th level, you get a new ability, because paladins needed more. Paladins needed more, you know. So we gave them an extra ability. As a magic action, you can expend one use of your channel divinity to overwhelm foes with divine awe. As you present your holy symbol or weapon, you can target a number of creatures equal to your charisma modifier, minimum of one creature that you can see within 60 feet of yourself. Each target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the target has the dazed and frightened conditions for 1 minute, or until it takes any damage. On a successful save, the target has a dazed condition for 1 minute, or until it takes any damage. So it's like a targeted, you know, a bunch of folks, almost like it's basically turn undead, but turn anything. you lot there. Freeze. So it's froze there. They get its 9th level. Show them any option for them. See, 10th level subclass feature. You get a feature from subclass on subclass. 11th level Radiant Strikes. You are so suffused with divine might that your weapon strikes carry supernatural power with them. When you hit a target with an attack roll using a simple or martial weapon, the target takes an extra 1d8 radiant damage. So all your strikes now get 1d8 radiant on top. So basically how it was before. Except now, you know, can work on ranged attacks. Though, however, it doesn't work on your unarmed strikes for some reason. Are they worried about what, paladin monks? Some people just going having a million unarmed strikes and then extra d8 radiant on top. Is that what they're afraid of? I don't think so. I think it's just a typo. So I missed that because it doesn't take a big deal. But yeah, add a d8 radiant on top. So that's still solid ability to get there. All right. 12th level, get your feat. 13th level, you get your Aura of Courage. Your allies are immune to the frightening condition while in your Aura of Protection. If a frightened ally enters the aura, that condition is suppressed while the ally is there. I think it's been delayed, isn't it? Your Aura of Courage was a 10th level ability. Now it's being actually bumped all the way to 13th level. Probably due to the various, you know, adjusting for subclasses and things that line up. So that's been bumped to her 13th, which is fine. I mean, it's a fine aura. I'm not going to say no to the aura. It'd be a benefit, but also I'm never like, oh boy, can't wait to get the Aura of Courage. So, you know, it's fine. Because it means there's a longer period of time where baddies with, you know, menacing auras and things, you know, majesty, fear effects coming off them, have a longer time actually doing anything to the party before the Paladin's Aura of Courage comes online. Because a lot of high-level monsters have that ability, but if there's a Paladin in the party, oh well, I guess we're not using their ability. Alright. Let's see, 14th level gain a subclass feature, sure. 15th level Restoring Touch. When you use Iron Hands on a creature, you can also remove one or more of the following conditions from the creature: blinded, charmed, dazed, deafened, frightened, paralyzed, or stunned. Stunned's a big one. This raises Cleansing Touch. Okay. You can spend 5 hit points from the healing pool of Land Hands for each of these conditions you remove. Those points don't also restore hit points to the creature. So replace the Cleansing Touch, which was you can use its feature, so you can use an action to end one spell on yourself or on one willing creature of that you touch. So it's ending a spell. Instead of ending a spell, now it's just remove one of these conditions. And you can just use, you had 3 uses. You could do Charisma modifier for a long rest. Now it's just using those pool of hit points of healing you had from your Lay on Hands. So probably more succinct, more in tune with the healing pool you got there to work with. But yeah, and you can remove various conditions. Stun's a big one. It's a very annoying one to get rid of. Alright. 6th level feat, 7th level of aura expansion. So your aura protection now extends to 30 feet from you rather than 10 feet. So that affects all your auras. Or actually, should I say they made it, they rebranded it, they rephrased it to be, got the one aura, but the one aura gets upgrades, extra benefits added to it. And so this just now extends that one aura you got. There's your aura protection with the also aura charge built in and any subclass auras you might have. Alright, 18th level Divine Conduit. Whenever you roll initiative, you regain one use of this class's channel divinity. But whatever, had a great run up until then. Can't win them all. 19th level, you get feat. 20th level, you get epic boon, which are epic now. Yay! So you get 2 plus you increase by 2, and you can raise your score above 20, but not above 30. So you get charisma higher, so the even bigger saving throw benefit aura. 6 to saves, yeah. And epic boon feat, you gain an epic boon of true sight, or no epic boon feat of your choice. Alright, and we've got the subclass now. Oath of Devotion. Breaking the Oath, which is pretty much the same as the Player's Handbook. And same with Oath of Devotion tenants, nothing's changed there. Alright, Oath spells. So to prepared spells, the following spells ready, reach a Paladin level, Secret Table. So you get these spells for free, as well as free casting. You can cast one of your prepared spells from this feature without spending a spell slot. And you must finish a long rest before you can use the benefit again. So before you get the spells and maybe use them, but let's be honest, they're all going to be all your spell slots are smites. You now get encouraged to use some of the flavorful stuff you get from your oath at least once for free, because you can't smite with it. Fine if I must. There's a change here to the Oath of Devotion spell list. Let's get up on another screen here what that was. So let's see. So they had still get protection from evil and good. It's still a thing. They'll get Shield of Faith rather than Sanctuary, which yeah, okay. Shield of Faith. Definitely one of the go-to Paladin choices anyway, so it's perfect. Extra AC. The first level you're getting. So they used to have Lesser Restoration in Zone of Truth. Now they've got Aid in Zone of Truth. I think don't know why they bothered changing that. Sure. 9th level Beacon of Hope spell magic's been changed to Aura Vitality and Blinding Smite. So a lot of changes there. 13th level was Freedom of Movement and Guardian of Faith. Now it's Guardian of Faith and Staggering Smite. A lot of smite effects here. 17th level were Commune and Flame Strike, and still Commune and Flame Strike. So there's some tweaks there to the spell list. Alright, all of which I think were spells that you could choose to repair anyway, especially to the Divine list, so there's not really any major losses there. You can still just prepare the other ones. That's fine. Alright, 3rd level Sacred Weapon as a bonus action. So this used to be an action to cast. Now it's a bonus action to use, so way more useful, because it's always annoying as Oath of Devotion Paladin to spend your first round combat setting up. Let's activate my weapon now. You can bonus action and get right in there. So as a bonus action, you can expend one use of your channel divinity to imbue one simple or martial weapon you're holding with positive energy, which I guess could be a bow for that range Paladin build. For 1 minute, you add, well, gun actually, radiant gun. Anyway, for 1 minute, you add your charisma modifier to attack rolls you make with that weapon, minimum bonus of +1, and each time you hit with it, you cause it to deal its normal damage type or radiant damage. So you can choose to do radiant rather than normal. It used to be just magic damage. Again, I think they're getting away from magic bludgeoning, slashing, piercing damage. Instead, just use a damage type. The weapon also emits bright light in a 20-foot radius and dim light at 20 foot. Beyond that, you can end this effect as a bonus action. This effect also ends if you aren't holding or carrying the weapon, or if you have the incapacity condition. So you can't just pass the weapon off to a friend. Here you go. Good luck. But yeah. Very good. Yeah. Big boost there. Alright. 6th level Smite of Protection. Alright. I guess they... yeah, they need a class feature in there. What's this? Smite of Protection is weird. A smite to protect you. You divine smite now radiates protective energy. It allows you and your allies to stay in the fight. Whenever you use your Divine Smite, choose yourself or an ally within 30 feet of yourself. The chosen creature gains temporary hit points equal to 1d8 plus the level of spell slot used for the Divine Smite. Then want to go, hey, those same d8s you roll for that smite, it's also temporary hit points. They want to make a 1d8 less. Really? Just have it line up. It's necessary to set that there, but also it's weird flavorfully. I smite them. I smite thee, and I protect you. Don't worry about it. Protect you over there. Smite you. Protect you. But sure, I guess. Maybe doing this damage and drawing this power out, then also channel it over there to protect or something. I don't know. Woof waffle. But sure, that's a new ability feature there. Alright. I feel like take that. Oath of Glory Paladins, I think it is, when they smite, they had a channel V feature where they smite, they deal something similar. They can give out healing or temporary points or something like that when they smite someone. Now it's Oath of Devotion, 6th level feature. Be interesting to see how the past subclasses and things in other books get updated or not. Anyway, that's a down the road problem. 10th level Aura Devotion. So your allies are immune to the charm condition while in the aura protection. If a charmed ally enters the aura, that condition is suppressed while the ally is there. So they've mentioned now the suppression part. I think that was there before. Nope, it was not. And yeah, so that's there now. So that is Aura Devotion coming in at 10th level, which that is later now. 3 levels later. It was 7th level before. Which Charmed is pretty big, because when it does hit, it can be quite devastating to the party. Like, oh no, the barbarians being mind controlled again. Shit, we have to find our own barbarian. Very annoying. So having that is quite strong. Devotion. I mean, I've definitely been in the party where the barbarian's been, charmed, mind controlled. It's very problematic. 40th level Holy Nimbus is a bonus action. You can imbue your aura with protection with holy power. The aura gains the following benefits for 1 minute or until you end them as a bonus action. So radiant damage. Whenever an enemy starts its turn in the aura, that creature takes radiant damage equal to a proficiency bonus plus your charisma modifier. Alright, just free little AoE damage. I mean, you've access to the cleric spell list as a paladin now, so you can get spirit guardians as well. So you can actually have quite a lot of damage auras going around you, actually, as well as, auras that help my friends, also enemies near me, just getting constant damage. So, just a walking wood chipper. As well as sunlight, the aura is filled with bright light. That is sunlight. Take that, vampires. Haha. So yeah, just walking around, just an aura of death. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, unless you expend that spell slot of 4th level when you use it again. Okay. And that's the Paladin Capstones. That was formerly a level 20 ability, Holy Nimbus. Holy Nimbus was before when it was level 20 capstone ability for the Paladin. As an action, let's see, emanate Aura Sunlight. Yes, we got Aura Sunlight still. Last minute, yeah, it's still the same. Let's see. Enemy starts to turn, the bright light takes 10 radiant damage. So it's got definitely most likely to be higher radiant damage. And just for the duration, you have advantage on saving throws against spells cast by Fiends Undead. The advantage is gone. Yeah, not for long rest. Very, very similar. Alright. Character feats. Alright, so that's the end of the Paladin. Just like that. Boom. Moving on. Overall, before we move on to these feats and everything else, Paladin, overall, despite the Nova potential being removed, which I found a lot of fun, like, I want to kill this enemy right away. And also the ability to crit fish, like, you want to only smite once around, so do you want to reroll to hit? If you hit, do you want to smite straight away, or do you want to chance on another roll, next attack? But you might miss and not get smite at all. But why get crit? Shooting smite still work on crits? I believe it does. Not 100% clear on the wording there. But yeah, so smite nerf is interesting. Even though, having said that, I think weirdly Paladin somehow overall got better. So they're more generalized out a bit, but they got more versatility and utility added in. This their damage output is being lowered a little bit. you could spread it out across the day as opposed to, alright guys, that first encounter of the day, I burnt through all my spell slots and smites, so that's me guys, I guess I'm not doing much. Yeah, limiting them, which could be a benefit to Paladin, because who get a bit carried away and burn all their spell slots pretty quick. So yeah, I don't know why Paladins gain so much. They're so good. They didn't need much help. Go help the Druid. Don't make the Paladin better. Alright. Yeah. Just a Paladin. I think they're a little harsh on the restrictions there. But I think give a bit more spike potential back, and then maybe restrict some other things or take away some of the other features, because oof, it's so good still. And then limiting that. I just love rolling a lot of d8s, especially in crit smiting. Oh my gosh. It's such a fun feeling. Anyway, that's the Paladin. I'll wait for the feedback survey to go more depth on that. What have we got? Character feats. So the feats. Yeah, progressive, repeatable. Sure. Alright. Epic Boon of Fate. Alright. 20th level mage or priest group get the following benefits. So you gain a 1 bump to your intelligence, wisdom, or charisma score, which can go up to 30. Improved Fate. When another creature within 60 feet of you fails a d20 twist, you can roll 2d4 and apply the total rolled as a bonus or penalty to the d20 roll. You can use this benefit no more than once per turn. You have 8 uses of this benefit, and whenever you finish a long rest, you regain 2d4 expended uses. Alright, just like using 2d4s arbitrarily. It's a lot of d4s there. But cool. Pretty good. Penalizing saving throws. Way to go. Alright, Epic Boon, Spell Recall. So you get the Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma, again, bumped by 1 to a max of 30. It's for the Mage or Priest group. When you cast a spell with a spell slot of 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th level, roll d4. If the number you roll equals the slot's level, the spell isn't expended. So you got a random chance, 1 in 4 chance, every time you cast a spell between 1 to 4th level, of it being a free cast. Seems a bit random. It might not ever work. Like, I don't know. For like a 20 level or higher ability, I feel like it should be stronger. Like, it should, because who cares about spell resources, 1st level spell slots at this point? Who cares? I feel like it should be a roll d4. If the number equal to or exceeds the spell slot level, it's free. So roll d4. I think first level is going to be guaranteed. They're free cast. 2nd level, 3 or 4 chance it'll be free. 3rd level, 50-50. 4th level, 1 in 4 of it being free. Maybe something like that. Because I feel like these epic level feats should be just crazy strong. Not just okay. Not epic in the name, come on. This is 20 level and up. Epic Boon of True Sight. So again, you get this is for the priest group. This is for intelligence, wisdom, or charisma score by 1 to max of 30. I guess it's gonna be interesting because priest group, paladin's priest group. So paladin has to choose a priest group 1. They can't choose. I assume there's gonna be some warrior group epic boons that the paladin just can't pick. I guess, which is what's going to limit them a bit. Maybe is that how they're doing it? They'll limit the paladin from being able to compete as well with the fighter in that. Maybe this whole grouping it with priests. I don't know. It's hard to say without looking at when the warriors come out. We'll have a better idea of that. You increase your intelligence, wisdom, or charisma score by 1 to a maximum of 30. True sight. You have a true sight within a range of 60 feet. Okay. And apparently they will do revised and more epic boons feats coming. There's just 3 examples they made there for this, making them stronger. Alright, so some revised spells coming up. So Divine Spell List. Spell List is pretty much the same, so we won't go over those. But it's the Cleric Spell List, or Cleric Druid. Oh, sorry, not Cleric Druid. It's the Cleric and Paladin Spell List, should I say, for the Divine Spells. And the Primal Spell List is for the Druid and the Ranger. We scroll through those. So many spells. Alright. So, the updated spells. So, smite spells have had a big change. So now their casting time is bonus action, which you take immediately after hitting a creature with a weapon or armor strike. So, weirdly, you can break up a multi-attack with a bonus action now, using these smites. Interesting. So before, these smite spells were basically all, you use a bonus action ahead of time, and you concentrate on the spell, so use your concentration, which is not great. Concentration is precious. And when you next hit, you can choose to expend the spell. So you kind of load it up, and you do it. And it's no longer the case. So range self, verbal, duration 1 minute. So target hit by the strike takes an extra 5d10 force damage, and the target must succeed on a critical saving throw will be transported to a harmless D&D plane for the duration. Let's see. While in the D&D plane, the target has the incapacity condition at the end of each of its turns. The target repeats save, ending the spell on itself on a success. When the spell ends on the target, it reappears in space left, or the target nearest occupied space. The space is occupied. Spell lasts on target for 1 minute, and the target is aberration, celestial, or elemental, fey, or fiend. The target doesn't return and instead transported to a random location on a plane associated with its creature type. High levels, when you cast a spell slot 6 level higher, the target takes extra 1d10 for each spell slot level above 5. So it scales up, which is nice. This is on the cleric spell list. Clerics can do this too. Which is actually making you know, combat martial clerics even more valid. Anyway, so you can do that. I mean, save and return. Good luck keeping them banished, because they'll keep saving until they come out for a minute. However, you're not concentrating though, so which is yeah, they can't break your concentration in the spell. They just need to pass a save to get back. Which is interesting. There's banishing smite. It's interesting what they're doing now with the smites. I think I like them. Blinding smite. So again, the bonus action when you hit someone. Because you can't smite and cast a spell on the same turn, but under the smite can right up there ability, you unfortunately can't stack a smite and a smite spell. But I don't think it's that bad if you could. If you limit smiting once per turn, but you can still cast a spell, so you could do a smite spell and a smite. That'd be quite cool. It also means you're more likely to use the smite spells, because I think 99% of the time, it's like, I'd rather smite because smite does more damage. I'd rather do that than the extra ability, whatever utility is happening there. And it was quite fun to stack a smite and a smite spell on top where you really want to Nova someone down. So yeah, and it does cost a bonus action still. So yeah, I think they should allow that. I may be biased because Paladin's a lot. Alright, the target hit by the strike takes extra 3d8 radiant damage, and the target must succeed on a constitution saving throw with the blinding condition until the spell ends. At the end of each turn, the blinding target repeats saving throw in the spell on itself on a success, and does scale up in damage when you upcast the spell. I'm pretty sure most of the smite spells I don't think had the scaling up, but they seem to have added that now, which is nice. More options there. Find familiar, big change. Find familiar, level 1 concentration spell, arcane ritual. Has a casting time of 1 hour. Range 10 feet. Components. So 10 GP worth of charcoal, incense, blah blah blah. Alright. So you gain the service of an otherworldly spirit, which manifests as a little animal in an unoccupied space of your choice within range. This creature uses the otherworldly familiar stat block. If you already have a familiar from the spell, that familiar transforms into a new one but retains its memories. You don't get a second familiar. Whenever you cast a spell, choose familiar's creature type, celestial, fey, or fiend. Also choose an environment, air, land, or water. Familiar resembles a tiny animal of your choice, such as an owl, a cat, or frog, that is native to the chosen environment. Both choices, creature type and environment, determine certain traits in the stat block. So combat. Familiar is an ally to you and your companions. In combat, it shares your initiative count, but it takes its turn immediately after yours. It obeys your commands, no action required by you, but the familiar can't attack unless you use your reaction on its turn to command it to do so. If you don't issue any commands, familiar takes the dodge action and uses its move to avoid danger. So that's a big change there. You can now, use your reaction to attack, which I think was just a chain pack to the warlock ability. Now it's just built into the Find Familiar spell. And it now happens, initiative is right after your turn, as opposed to, used to be just, as written, you roll initiative for the familiar, and the familiar acts on its turn. Now it will happen immediately after your order, which is a cleaner way of handling that. And we all kind of, I think, house ruled that anyway, in most cases. Shouldn't even allowed familiars at all. Some people just ban familiars from participating in combat because it's just another, thing that slows down the game, because it's just another character to run and maintain. But yeah, so they've definitely embraced the familiars doing stuff in combat. They've given them some options there. They made it a bit easier. Disappearance of the familiar. The familiar disappears if it drops to 0 hit points, if you dismiss it as a bonus action, or if you die. When it disappears, it leaves behind anything it was wearing or carrying. If you cast the spell again, you decide whether you summon the familiar that disappeared or a different one. Alright. Remote viewing is a magic action. Magic action. This magic action. You can see what your familiar sees and hear what it hears until the end of your next turn. So obviously you keep taking the magic action to maintain the viewing. At high level, when you cast a spell using the spell slot second level higher, use the high level whenever the spell's level appears in the stat block. That's right, you can upcast your familiar to be a beefier familiar, which is very new. So you can, and it lasts ages. So like, why would you not? At the end of the day, just if you I got a new bigger spell slot free, just use it to upcast your familiar because the familiar continues surviving. Until it's killed. So it's I don't see why would you not just keep upcasting it to be a bit more beefier familiar. It levels up with you, I guess, in that case. Alright, so other familiar, tiny, celestial, fey, or fiend. Choose when choosing casting the spell. Alignment is neutral, apparently. Armor class is 10 plus 2, land only, plus 1 per spell level. Natural armor. Okay, so it's armor class. Oh, so it's got a landowner, so it's got a high level armor class if it's just a land creature. Sure. Who cares? Plus 1 per spell level, natural armor. So you can really, man, I cast Find Familiar at 9th level, and it's a land creature. It's a little dog or something. It's got armor class 21. What a great use of my resources. For those people who really want super tanky familiar. Alright. Hit points 2 plus 2 per spell level. So familiar has a number of hit dice d4s equal to your spell's level. So getting upcast it's got more hit points. Survival is traps you get to go trigger and explode on. Poor familiars, they're a hard life, don't they? Speed, so it's 30 foot speed, climb 30 feet when it's land only, flight 30 feet, air only, swim 30 feet, water only. So yeah, it's got the set numbers there, because they're really utilizing the template approach as opposed to digging through the monster manual, finding various forms that have cool extra abilities on there. Alright, familiar strength is always 3, dex 14, con 10, int 10, so smarter than the average barbarian, wisdom 14, and charisma 8. Okay. It's got diversion 60 feet, passive perception 12, telepathy 120 feet, only between you and the familiar, so challenge rating, nothing, proficiency bonus equals your bonus, and see, so to scale up with you, it's nice. Amphibious, water only. The familiar can breathe air and water if you choose the amphibious option. Extra dimensional escape, recharges after a long rest. Whenever the familiar drops to 0 hit points, it instead drops to 1 hit point and vanishes into an extra dimensional space, leaving behind anything it was wearing or carrying. It remains there for 1 hour or until you summon it as a magic action, and then it reappears in your space. So it's got 1 freebie a day of it. The familiar blows up, it can escape to a little pocket dimension to be pulled back from as an action. So it's cute. I mean, it's simple enough to recast, but sure, I mean, take a freebie. My very expendable sacrificial creature. Go trigger that trap. Explode. Excellent. Good work, minion. I guess it's good to have that, especially if you went to the effort of upcasting your familiar some crazy high level spell slot. Oh, that's annoying. I have to recast at a high level spell slot if I want to recast again. So that's that. Part there, also got more to it here. Action, so it's got Otherworldly Scratch, melee spell attack, your spell attack modifier to hit, reach 5 foot. On one target, hit 1 plus your spell's level of radiant damage, celestial, psychic damage of Fae, and necrotic damage of Fiend. Which is interesting. I wonder why necrotic damage for Fiend. I would thought it'd be fire, but alright, maybe they're doing a rebranding and making necrotic more fiendish or just evil creatures as opposed to being more, I think, shadowy and undead and necrotic stuff. Now fiends are doing it too. Psychic, yeah, same with what Fae creatures are making. They're making psychic type more Fae. I guess what else would Fae be? Didn't really have one before. The psychic was a very aberration too. Anyway, and then radiant for celestial. And I wonder how they're gonna handle because they, you know, they always had rules for custom familiars like little mini beholders and pseudo dragons and things like that. I guess that might just be covered in the Pact of the Chain Warlock, which we'll see when they release the mage. Oh, I think that'll be interesting to see how they handle that. But yeah, so it's a little attack it there, but it can't attack normally. It needs to use your reaction to get it to use this little attack. So if you cast this 9th level, you can make it use your reaction to make this thing attack for 10 whole damage. Amazing. Reactions, it can also deliver a spell. When you cast a spell with a range of touch, Familiar can deliver a spell with its touch. To do so, the Familiar must be within 120 feet of you. Aha! But this Familiar is merely after your turn, so the Familiar would have had to remain a whole round adjacent to an enemy and not die. But you finally use your reaction to get it to deliver that spell. Oh boy. Yeah. How that Familiar survive? Who knows? It's interesting. Because you can't row. Familiar swoop in, then I do it. I guess you can hold action to do it. But man, really? All that just to get Shock and Grasp off? Okay, Fine Steed. Had similar upgrades to the Fine Steed spell. So, well, I say upgrades. There's some downgrades too. It's a bit of a mixed bag. Fine Steed, second level concentration spell, Divine. So 10-minute casting time for those people who aren't paladins. Take that bard to steal the spell all the time. Range 3 feet. Component available somatic. Duration instantaneous. You gain the service of an otherworldly being, which manifests as a loyal steed in an unoccupied space of your choice within range. This creature uses the otherworldly steed's stats block. If you already have a steed from the spell, your steed is replaced by the new one. The steed resembles a large, rideable animal of your choice, such as a horse, a camel, a direwolf, or an elk. Whenever you cast a spell, choose a steed's creature type, celestial, fae, or fiend. What are you doing, paladin, with that fiend there? Which determines certain traits in the stat block. So you can't do medium creature, so if it's still large. So, sorry, gnome paladins and things, you can't ride a dog, like you supposed to do. Alright, combat. The steed is an ally to you and your companions. In combat, it shares your initiative count, and it functions as a controlled mount, as determined in the rules on mount combat. So that means controlled mount means that, you know, it's a creature that can't attack, and it's basically you're riding it and your movement's now that creature's. And it just kind of operates on your turn like that, as opposed to having its own initiative and very awkward for you to move. You have to wait for the steed to move on its turn before you can do stuff, and yeah. So it's using the control mount rules, which is basically, effectively, you now have that steed's movement and you move together, and it just kind of moves along for you, and you don't, it can't attack, but it can use its actions to either dash for you during your turn, or dodge, disengage. Yeah, there we go. I think that's right off the top of my head. A simplified version of the controlled mount rules. Alright, if you have the incapacitated condition, it takes its turn immediately after yours and acts independently, focusing on protecting you. So it will suddenly get turned by itself. If you're out of it, you can't control it on your turn, it will then run away and try and save you. Alright, disappearance of the steed. The steed disappears if it drops to 0 hit points, if you dismiss it as a bonus action, or if you die. When it disappears, it leaves behind anything it was wearing or carrying. If you cast a spell, again you decide whether you summon the steed, disappeared, or a different one. So you can also upcast this. When you cast a spell, you can spell slot 3rd level or higher. Use a high level whenever the spell's level appears in the stat block. So this is again a scalable spell. So very stealable for bards who can cast it at high level spell slots. Ha ha ha. Also, this is the cleric spell list, so clerics can get steed now too. Alright, so there's large, celestial, fey, or fiend. Choose when casting the spell. Neutral creature. Armor class is 10 plus 1 per spell level. Natural armor, so yeah, cast it 5th level, its armor class is 15. Cast it 9th level, armor class is 19. Hit points. And again, it lasts for ages. Like, there's no final on the spell, it just exists until it dies. So if you got a high level spell slot at the end of the day, spare you might as well. Alright, hit points. 5 plus 10 per spell level. Steed is number of hit dice. D10 is equal to the spell's level, so again, upcasting it gives it a lot more hit points. Up to, what, 95 hit points. Let's see, speed is 60 foot. It's getting a fly speed 60 foot when you cast a spell at 4th level or higher. So basically, Fine Greater Steed is coming bundled into Fine Steed. So you can get a flying mount, get your Pegasus or what have you, if you reach, cast a 4th level higher. So again, it's got, because they did have a bunch of stat boxes to choose from, that's all gone away with, so you can't spec your dragon now. You got this instead, which, c'est la vie. Strength 18, Dex 12, Con 14, Int 6. That's dumber than familiar. Oh, not as smart as a familiar. Wisdom 12, Charisma 8. You'd think as large as celestial creature would be as smart as the little familiar, but no, apparently not. Okay. The see, languages, telepathy 1 mile, only between you and Steed, so you can get long range chats with it. Bonus equals your bonus. Life bond. Whenever you gain hit points from a spell 1st level higher, the Steed regains the same number of hit points if you win 5 feet of it. So that replaces the any spell you cast on you was also cast on the Steed kind of thing they had before, which was really good. Is now it's cast by you though, so yeah. So like you do certain things like the Paladin casts haste themselves, and your Steed also gets haste. Hey, things like that. Double Spirit Guardians, let's go. But unfortunately, no. The that's gone away with is now just a life bond, so you can share the healing, but that's it. No other abusable fun things, alas. Actions: Otherworldly Maul. Melee spell attack. Your spell attack modified to hit, reach 5 foot on target. Hit 1d8 plus the spell's level of radiant damage, psychic damage, or necrotic damage. So it does have an attack. Though, if my remembering older mounted combat rules for controlled mounts is right, and sure they haven't changed it, they can't do that attack while you are riding them. It's just something they can do when you're not around. Alright. But they do get some bonus actions here, apparently. So depending on the flavor of mount you chose, you get the first Fey, you get the Fey step. So returns a long rest. It's a bonus action. The Steed teleports along with its rider to an unenclosed space of your choice up to 60 feet away. Amazing. Those Paladins really want closing into melee. This will help with that. Enemies think they're safe up on a ledge somewhere. No, your Steed just teleports up there and wrecks their shit. So that is really good. Then we've got Fell, Glare, Fiend only, tries a long rest. So there's a bonus action Steed, eyes gleam with fiendish light as it targets one creature you can perceive up to 60 feet away. Target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC or at the fighting condition until the end of your next turn. Not very good compared to the other ones. But teach you for picking a Fiend Steed. What are you doing, Paladin? You have a Fiend option. What are you doing? How about Healing Touch, Celestial only. Recharges after a long rest. The Steed touches another creature and restores another hit points to equal to 2d8 plus the spell's level, which is fantastic because it'll probably be you, as if you go down and your Steed's still up, your Steed can quickly heal you and put you back in the fight right away. Because I mean, unfortunately, it will be after your turn, so you'll probably have lost a whole turn by the time the Steed's done that. But it's nice having that backup option to get back up into the fight. So yeah, I think overall the Fey one's probably the best one. Just getting into a fight or getting to the awkward place to get to positioning wise, real quick. Or if you play party because they rolled higher initiative, moved up and got in your way. I need to get through to you guys. You're in the way. I didn't tell you what past. I've had that before. But anyway, so that's that. Moving on down. Glimmering Smite. So this is they've renamed. It's just Branding Smite. They renamed it. I'm guessing because Branding Smite sounded a little, I don't know, harsh. By guessing that they got rid of the branding name. It was branding. Yes. Now it's Glittering Smite. So the bonus action, you take it immediately after you hit attack. Second level spell here. Range self verbal component. Concentration up to a minute. So it does have concentration on this one. A few of them do have concentration, but most don't for these smite spells. Target hit by a strike takes extra 2d6 radiant damage, and it has an invisible condition. If it has an invisible condition, that condition ends on it. In addition, until the spell ends, target sheds bright light in a 5-foot radius, and attack rolls against it have advantage. So previously, it just had, you can see the invisible person, but the invisible condition was still there, which technically speaking, the invisible condition, because it's broken up into bullet points, if you can see the invisible creature, it does not mean you don't no longer have disadvantage to hit it, or it doesn't have advantage to hit you. But if you remove the invisible condition, like this spell here now does, and the spell Fairy Fire also says this, those advantages and disadvantages are also gone. So yeah, it's a little confusing, but invisibility. In addition, until the spell ends, the target sheds bright light in a 5-foot radius, and attack rolls against have advantage. So you get, not only do you get rid of invisible, you also have advantage on them. But you can just do this on anyone who isn't invisible. Just go, you know what, I like to have advantage on this person now, please. There we go, which is pretty nice to have. Yeah, because concentration on you, there's no saving throw, is it? You just hit someone, and you choose to do it when you hit. Yes, pretty good actually, isn't it? You just go, oh, I hit. You know what? I'm just going to smite for 2d6 radiant. That's instead of doing, would have been 3d8 if I was using a regular smite. Instead I'm going to do this. And hey, everyone, we now have advantage on this person. Ahaha, get in there. All future attacks from me and my friends get advantage on this person. That's really good. I don't care if they're invisible or not. Who cares? They still have advantage now. Yeah, it's really strong. I like that actually. Don't like the fact that if they become invisible later, then it doesn't say that it's persistent, like they cannot benefit from the invisible condition while this is on. It's just if they turn invisible after the fact, then it's a bit weird. So they might want to add that potentially, but yeah, take that, enemies. Bright Glittering Smite, really good. Don't love the name, but sure. Sorry, glimmering, even. That's sure. Oh, whatever. Let's keep going. Searing Smite. So bonus action, yep, blah blah blah. Contrast in a minute. As you hit the target, the strike strikes flares with white hot intensity, and target takes an extra 1d6 fire damage and ignites with magical fire. At the start of each of its turns, until spell ends, target must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, will take 1d6 fire damage. On a successful save, a spell ends. We cast a spell using the spell slot of second level or higher. The damage increases by 1d6 for each spell slot above first. It's scalable. Alright, Spear the Dying. Okay, this is a big one, guys. So, zero level necromancy spell, divine and primal. It's a cantrip, guys. Why are they pushing this whole 0 level concept? Anyway. Casting time, action, range touch, visible somatic, instantaneous. You touch a creature that has a dying condition. The creature regains 1 hit point. Amazing. So Spear Dying before was a very bad cantrip, which was basically you touch someone who's dying, they're now stable. They're still on 0, but they're not bleeding out anymore, which you could also replicate and do by just doing medicine roll. Or people normally, when they want to get a friend back up, just chuck a healing spell at them, be it healing word or cure wounds or whatever. Probably just healing word as a bonus action to get someone back up into the fight. So all you need is 1 hit point. You may be down like loads of hit points, but all you need is 1 just to still be in the fight and do everything just fine. So Spear the Dying now is a cantrip, so it's free to cast. You can do this limitless times. You can always get someone back up on 1 hit point with Spear the Dying. That is really, really strong. You're going to have a lot of yo-yo effect. You already had quite a bit of yo-yoing effect in 5th edition, where even just healing words and things like that, where someone goes down, they get some death save fails, but then you heal them back up, and their whole death timer resets, and they're back in the fight, good as new, no consequence, no downside, and yeah, this can be reliably done now, even without running out of resources with Spear the Dying. Oh my goodness, why they're making a lot of great like divine and primal spells, cantrips here. Like Spear the Dying, must have. That's so good. Guidance, must have, so good. Resilience, must have, so good. Both Guidance and Resilience were in the last playtest packet. You can catch that in my previous video. But yeah, they were very, very strong. And our Spear the Dying were really strong. So I guess, was it Clerics and things? We had to start with 3 cantrips. And for Paladin and Druid, I'll pick 2, I guess, and then pick up the 3rd later. Yeah, you want to get those 3 cantrips, and then at some point you probably want to get damaging cantrips somehow. But you might want to wait a bit on that and just pick up a bow or do something if you're a spellcaster, if you want to do some damaging, and pick up those 3 cantrips because they're really, really good. Yeah, it's a key one. I feel like if they're going ahead with the original Spear the Dying, maybe they need to bring back that mechanic which was in 4th edition, I think, if I remember right. I think I remember this right, where the timer does not reset. So even though you go down, you take some hits, you get back up, healing, but any death save fails you had during that time are still remembered, and so until you long rest next, and then it goes away. So if you do drop down again, there's an increasing risk that you might die, which might be the way to go to help balance it with this Spear the Dying. Having it's just the dying rules if you do that, but also because I like the fact getting back up is getting easier, because it's very boring combat when you're down bleeding out and no one gets to save you quickly, or they are resource or whatever, and you skip your turn over and over again. So I like to get back in the fight, please, come on. So getting it easy to get back up, I'm fine with, but it does remove a bit of sense of danger, I think. It's so easy to do without any consequence. So maybe having the remembered death save fails might be good then to balance it out. I don't know. Something to think about. Spear the Dying, so strong. Alright, Staggering Smite. Level 4th level enchantment spell, Divine. Bonus action which you take immediately after hitting a creature with a weapon or an unarmed strike. Staggering Smite. Anyway, as you hit the creature, you strike pierces both body and mind. The target takes extra 46 psychic damage, and the target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or the stun condition until the end of its next turn. Oh, stunning Paladins. Should be good. Yeah. At high levels, you can upcast it to extra d6. Causes a save, so no guarantee. Yeah. Thunderous Smite. So another Smite one, all the Smite spells. So again, we hit to a bonus action, and as you hit the target, strike rings with thunder. There's audible within 300 feet of you, and the target takes an extra 2d6 thunder damage. Additionally, if the target is a creature, it must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pushed 10 feet away from you and have the prone condition. This is one of my go-to Smite spells, because don't summon prone, get the advantage, though now we have Glimmering Smite. Don't really need Thunderous Smite as much once I get access to Glimmering Smite, because it's guaranteed advantage as opposed to a saving throw to get temporary advantage because they're prone. Anyway, you can upcast it to do damage if you like, which I don't think I had that before. Wrathful Smite. So again, bonus action when you hit. Concentration a minute. As you hit a creature, takes extra 1d6 psychic damage. It must succeed on a wisdom save or be frightened. And then each of its turns, frightened target repeats the saving throw in the spell itself. On a success, you can upcast it with damage. Nah, whatever. We've got rules glossary now. That's all the new spells. Smite spells, I think overall, I'm liking the direction they go with the smite spells. I would like to be able to cast a spell and smite at the same turn. I think that'd be nice. I might need to clarify bonus actions, breaking up multi-attacks, how that works. But yeah, Glimmering Smite, oh, so good. Very interesting. Alright. Changelog for the rules glossary, so it's a changelog here, so we've got new entries for dying, knocking out creature, short rest, telepathy, and unconscious, and revised entries. So D20 test, rolling a 1 on D20 longer awards. Inspiration, which is now called Heroic Advantage. a difficult terrain. Your allies are no longer difficult terrain for you, and furniture is difficult terrain if it's one size smaller than you or larger. Equipping weapons, substitution of attack, clarified how equipping and unequipping work. Got fly speed change, what causes you to fall, grappled condition, movable and escape sections changed. Help action now works with tool proficiencies. Heroic advantage, name change for heroic inspiration, which is no longer gained from rolling 1 on a d20. Incapacity condition, clarified that is still blocks bonus actions. Long rest changes have been made to every section of the roll. Alright, moving around other creatures and changes to your speed sections changed. Later it was formerly called speed of 0. Unarmed strike, grappling, and shoving are no longer delivered by an attack roll. And removed entries, ability check, attack roll, climbing and swimming, dash, hidden, jump, slowed, special speeds. Alright. So quickly just target the new interesting things going on here. So training up tools, equipping weapons. So you can you can equip or unequip one weapon before or after each attack and make it as part of this action. If you equip a weapon before an attack, you don't need to use it for that attack. If your weapon includes drawing it from a sheath, picking it up, retrieving it from a container, unequipping your weapon includes sheathing, stowing, or dropping it. Alright. Let's change there. These twists. Alright, day's condition. So just remember what the day's condition is. Limited activity, you can move or take one action on your turn, not both. You also can't take a bonus action or a reaction. You can't basically you've been slowed or touched mind whipped or whatever, basically. The day's condition. Difficult terrain. Difficult terrain, there's some rules on that. It's changed here. So difficult terrain isn't so let's see, space difficult terrain for a creature if the space contains either following. So a creature that isn't tiny or your ally. So your allies no longer count as difficult terrain. They'll get out of your way for you, that's nice of them. And tiny creatures, you just walk over them. But although, if you're also a tiny creature, how does that work? Furniture that is one size smaller than you or larger, heavy snow, heavy undergrowth, ice, liquid that's beneath, between shin and waist deep, any deeper and you need to swim. Narrow opening that is sized for a creature one size smaller. Pit or another gap of 2 to 5 feet. Rubble, slope of 20 degrees or more. The DM may determine that other things make a space count as difficult terrain based on examples here. There we go. Okay. Dying condition. So the dying condition, I'm going to play drops 0 hit points. The dying condition. So 0 hit points, you have 0 hit points. If you regain any hit points while dying, the condition ends on you. Knocked out, you have the unconscious condition. Death saving throws. At the start of each of your turns, you must make a death saving throw. You roll d20s unmodified. Still high, you succeed. Otherwise, you fail. Successes or failures, add up. I mean, it's all pretty much just slightly rewording, but it's all the same of how it is now. Rolling 1 or 20, you get 2 failures, or 20 gives you 1 hit point. It's still the same. Let's see. 3 failures, yep. And it all resets when you get back up. If you're taking damage, you suffer 1 death save through fail. If you suffer a critical damage hit, you suffer 2. Yep, it's the same. Alright, exhaustion. That's still the same as the last rules packet, where basically you've got exhaustion levels 1 through 10. That penalizes your d20 rolls. And you get 1 level removed every long rest. Alright, XP's fly speed. Fly speed can be used to travel through the air. When flying, you fall if you lack a hover trait, and you have to incapacitate or prone condition, or your fly speed is reduced to 0. So they've added back prone, so you can push on prone and they fall to their death. Which, if you ever had an aerial battle against a dragon that has the, most dragons have the legendary action of do like wing attack, where they blow their wings, do a saving throw, or you fall, not get knocked prone. That's fine when you're on the ground, but if you're up in the air flying, be it on a flying mount, or you got like a flying ability of some kind, flying spell, and you're not prone, you die. You fall all the way down to the ground immediately and just take a lot of damage. It's pretty lethal. Don't fight dragons in the air. Aerial combat is lethal against dragons. Don't do it. Woohoo! Oh boy. Found that out. Anyway. Game sets back in. They removed that and put that back in the prone bit. Okay. Also great for knocking, if you got the capability of knocking dragon prone, do it. Because they'll fall to their death. Alright. Let's see. Flying's dangerous, guys. Game set, grapple edition, so I think it's all the same how they had before. Yep. Help action, you can now do it with tool proficiencies as well, which is fine. Heroic advantage, they just renamed it, and humans continue to get it, but now can only be awarded as like a DM determines roleplay. That was a good roleplay here. Have a heroic advantage or whatever, but otherwise, if you're human, you have it. You can't have more than one at a time. Yeah, so they're gonna have, I guess, heroic advantage as a inbuilt system as opposed to being, it was optional in 5th edition DMG. Now it's gonna be perhaps a mainstay. I don't normally play games. I don't think any of my games really had used that mechanic. I have heard of other groups that do use that, and I guess it's quite useful to help encourage folks role playing or encouraging them to think of clever things outside the box to do. We're having something there to reward them, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. Because I find advantage can be quite a lot of advantage in the game already, so we'll see if, because players do help action, do other things to get advantage anyway. So giving this reward that isn't a free advantage. Bump my microphone there, because a free advantage doesn't actually do much when they already have advantage. So I almost feel like you need a different reward mechanic that's separate from all the other advantages they get from help actions and things. But anyway, like a bonus to AC, I guess, a flat bonus. I don't know. See, only one at a time. You can never have more than one. Yeah, time is fine. Alright. Help action, hide action. The hide action, you now, when you do the hide action, you can actually straight up become invisible condition as opposed to like a hidden condition. Decided to simplify it and just make it just invisible. So yeah, you can mundanely become invisible, guys, by just hiding real good. Alright. Invested, see, that is all basically the same, just clarifying the bonus action is one of the things you can't do anymore. See, influence action, they've still got all that here, which you can, rules for influencing role-playing monsters to try and talk them down from combat and things like that. Which, it's fine. I feel like you don't necessarily need rules for that, because you can kind of just get a feel for how the roleplay is going, generally speaking. Get an indicative role. But I guess it's going to be nice for newbie groups and DMs to have it spelled out for them to think about that. I don't know if I like it being hard-coded into the player's handbook per se. But anyway. Interaction mechanics there. So got the ability checks. Nothing changed there. Just saying what you can do with them. Alright. Sometimes an attacker wants to knock out a foe rather than killing a blow. Killing blow. When an attacker will reduce the creature to 0 hit points. When an melee attack, the attacker can instead reduce the creature to 1 hit point. The creature then has the unconscious condition and starts a short rest. The creature remains unconscious until it regains any hit point or until someone uses an action to administer first aid to it, which requires a successful D10 wisdom usage. So trying to keep things consistent with 1 hit point means you're not dying. 0 hit points means you're dying, but you're just unconscious. Because before it's like you knock someone out and you stabilize them on 0. They can be a bit wishy-washy when you try and interrogate someone on 0 or things like that. So I think I approve of the tidy up there. Like if they're not dying, they're on 1 hit point, guys. If they're stable, on unstable 0, operating on 0 hit points, get a bit clumsy and messy at times. Alright, light weapon probably still the same. We can do the multi-attack with light weapon as part of the action, which is pretty good. Alright, extra wording good. Long rest. So long rest triangles did change, didn't they? They said that. So let's see, long rest, extended period of downtime for 8 hours long. Held any creature during long rest, you sleep for at least 6 and for no more than 2 hours of light activity, such as reading, talking, eating, or standing watch. During the sleep, you have the unconscious condition. Benefits of the rest. You start long rest, you must have at least 1 hit point. When you finish the rest, you gain the following benefits: regain all hit die, regain all lost hit points, and regain all spent hit die. So now it's regaining half business. Get them all back. There's things to keep track of, which is good because I feel like I always forget how many hit die I left. Hit point max restored. If your hit point maximum is reduced, it returns to normal. Ability scores restored. If any of your ability scores were reduced, they return to normal. Exhaustion. Hopefully there'll be caveats where some creatures will say, so I think it's like, was it Rakasha? Something like that. There's like an ongoing curse thing where No, you can't get it back until it's resolved. So I assume there'll be exceptions to that rule. But otherwise, there's no mention of exceptions, then you just get it back on long rest. Exhaustion reduced by 1. Special features. Some features are recharged by long rest. If you have such a feature, it recharges in the way specified in its description. After finish long rest, you must wait at least 16 hours before starting another one. Interrupting the rest. A long rest is stopped by the following interruptions: rolling initiative, casting a spell other than a 0 level spell, taking any damage, 1 hour of walking, or other physical exertion. If your rest was at least 1 hour long before the interruption, you gain the benefits of a short rest. You can resume a long rest merely after an interruption. If you do so, the rest requires 1 additional hour to finish per interruption. Sure. All seems pretty straightforward there. Magic action. The magic action. When you take the magic action, you'll magic something by casting a spell that has a casting time of an action, or by using a feature or magic item that requires a magic action to be activated. What? They're using the word magic. All the magic. If you cast a spell that causes a casting time of 1 minute or longer, you must take the magic action on each turn of that casting, and you must maintain concentration while you do so. If your concentration is broken, the spell fails, but you don't expend a spell slot. What is the point of magic action? I assume there must be something in this game that cares about people doing magic actions or no magic actions or something like that. Because when you take the magic action, you magic something by casting a spell. What? Magic. I don't understand. I need more context to this magic action. It's going to drive me mad. Magic. Anyway, let's move. It's all the same. Move around other creatures. You can bypass resources. Ally has investigation. Type creature. Yeah. Cool. Change your speed. If an effect increases or decreases your speed for a time, any special speed you have increases or decreases by equal amount for the same duration. For example, if your speed is reduced to 0, if your climb speed is also reduced to 0. So similarly, if your speed is halved, your fly speed is also halved. Makes sense. Alright. Anything else going on here? That's new. Okay, that's a note just on things that are happening with weapons in the warrior packet comes out. Look forward to that. Alright. Studying interpretation. Is anything changed here? Proficiency, telepathy. Honestly, that telepathy was new, but when I read it, there's nothing new there I could see. So it's just going to be ahead. Got true sight. Alright, arm strike. So that's something changed here. So an arm strike is, a melee attack that involves you using your body to damage, grapple, or shove a target within 5 feet of you. Whenever you use your unarmed strike, choose one of the following options for its effect. And I assume this is going to help the monk a lot when they arrest the monk of what's going on there, and it'll make more sense. But anyway, up until then though, however, so we hit someone, it's a melee attack that involves using your body. Whenever you use your unarmed strike, choose one of the following options for the effect. So you can say, I'm going to do an unarmed strike, and you choose what you're doing. So damage, so if you choose damage, you make an attack roll against the target. Your bonus to hit equals your strength modifier plus your proficiency bonus. On a hit, the target takes bludgeoning damage equal to 1 plus your strength modifier, which could be 0 if you've got negative 1 strength. Grapple, the target must succeed on a strength or dexterity saving throw. It chooses which, or it has a grapple condition. Must succeed. So basically, you choose, I'm going to do unarmed strike, I'm going to choose grapple. Then you don't do anything. The target now does a saving throw. They can choose between strength or dexterity save. And it gains the grapple condition, so DC for the saving throw. And any escape attempts equals 8 plus your strength modifier plus your proficiency bonus. With grapple also is possible only if the target is no more than 1 size larger than you, and if you have a hand free to grab it. So, what's wrong with contested skill checks? Because in 5e, you got the whole, I roll strength athletics, they roll, same or dexterity acrobatics, and, highest wins. There's a bit more kind of, you're doing something, you're wrestling them to grab the thing, whatever. And rather this whole, I don't do anything, you just do a saving throw, please. Oh, you rolled natural 1. Sweet, I guess I grabbed you. Wahaha. I don't know why they go flat DCs there. Was there swingy or something? I don't know, it seems... It also means, why bother with the athletics skill at all? Because one of the big benefits of athletics was to be able to influence the grappled and the shove condition, and doesn't seem to care about that at all. You just get proficiency anyway. So what's the point of athletics? Yeah. I still like the 5e method of grappling and shoving, which we'll get in a sec, more than what they're doing here. But before they did have it where you see hit, you see that they just rolled a hit, the attack roll, hit the AC. Oh, I got you grappled, I got you shoved. That's it. You don't get a save or anything. That's happened now. Right. Shove. So the target must succeed on a strength or dexterity saving throw. Choose which, or you either push the target 5 feet away or cause it to have the prone condition. The DC for the saving throw equals 8 plus your strength modifier plus your proficiency bonus. This shove is possible only if the target is no more than one size larger than you. So the shove before was you see a roll, attack roll against, strike against them, hit the AC. You can shove them 5 feet or push them prone, no save. So I tried this out in a playtest where I had a bunch of little kobolds, whatever, run out to some players who are standing near a ledge and go, alright, can I bum rush these players with a bunch of kobolds to do unarmed strikes, try and shove them off the edge of this cliff. Fortunately, I rolled bad on my attack rolls, but basically if I actually landed a hit, I would shove them back 5 feet and off the cliff to their deaths, I guess. No save, you're gone? Which seemed very odd to me. So I'm glad it's now been changed. At least it got a saving throw. I don't need to roll anything on my part though. I just choose to do it. Roll save. Do I kill you on that ledge? So yeah, I mean your strength influence DC, but that's it. And yeah, I don't know. I saw the contested aspect of it, where you feel like you both of you, because you got both of you got skin in the game of what's going on here, more control. If you're on D20s contested. So yeah, I'll see how that goes. But I'm glad at least it's not just a roll to hit the attack and then that's it, you're done. Especially since often shoving is used quite a lot to knock someone prone or to make them easier to hit for attacks. If you're also trying to hit them in the first place with the shove in order to do that, it's a little counterproductive. But now you can actually go, okay, they got really high armor class, they're wearing all this armor, we can't hit them. Alright, we'll just resort to just shoving them over. I don't care what your armor class is, I'm just go, you are standing right there, I'm going to push you over now. Makes sense. So I don't need to roll the hit, you are there. You're hard to miss. You got his armor on. Roll a saving throw and make enough prone, and then hopefully it'll be a bit easier time trying to hit you after that. So it makes more sense to me than trying to hit the attack roll. But yeah, I still like the contested checks before. Anyway, that's that, and I believe it's just unconscious condition. Unconscious, you experience the following effects: inert, you have the incapacitated condition, and prone conditions, and you drop whatever you are holding. When the condition ends, you remain prone. Sleep speed, your speed is 0 and can't change. Attacks affected, attack rolls against you have advantage. Failed strength and dex saves, you automatically fail strength and dexterity saving throws. Critical hits, any attack roll that hits you is a critical hit if the attacker is within 5 feet of you. Unaware, you're unaware of your surroundings. So pretty bad. Don't do it. You can jump or sleep. Or unconscious in general. That's it. That's the playtest material there for the Druid and Paladin / some spells and rules there as well. Well, overall, my thoughts are poor Druids. I mean, they had a pretty hard time anyway, and now they've got absolutely destroyed. All their fun, versatility, and utility is being ripped away or pushed to way later to irrelevancy. So I think definitely the wild shape templates need a harder look at. And then definitely don't have a very good combat options there for them either. They need to be beefed up quite a bit. The Paladin, I mean, still pretty good. I'm thinking a little harsh in the smite. I don't know, I feel like other classes would be brought up to the Paladin's level, not Paladin brought down. This Paladin's so good. And if anything, maybe nerfing the saving aura, not nerf the smite. Smite was never the problem. Smite's fun. It's the aura I always thought was the problematic thing. The DM on their Paladin. Put a slightly more a limit on that, perhaps. So that's that, and then we've got spells. Spells, I think I'm happy with all the spells. Speed of Dying, maybe a little too good, or something needs to be all done there. People go yo-yoing back up and down again constantly, and yeah, that could be very problematic. Otherwise, I like the smite spells. Find Steed, Find Familiar, all seem fine to me. let's see, we got, yeah, and then the rules changes, what's okay with, I'm glad that rolling 1 gives you inspiration is gone, never like that. Yeah, it's all looking okay. I think they're slowly refining things getting better, but yeah, definitely more work to be done there. But you, poor Druid. Poor Druid. I'm looking forward to seeing, yeah, how all the classes line up together when we got through this playtest material. Because definitely, it's harder to judge exactly when you got this, you don't know what the classes are like. Especially when it comes to the Paladin compared to the other martials, the warriors. Interesting one. And is the Paladin better at range combat than a ranger now, I wonder? Don't know. It's an interesting one. So if you want to find this document, it is on dndbeyond.com. You can go in there and sign up for the D&D Playtest and access this yourself. And they are planning on releasing these, I think, bi-monthly now. So yeah, so we can see what the next edition of Dungeons & Dragons looks like. Interesting times. Interesting times we live in. Alright, I'm Brad Thompson, and this has been Cutting Words. I should probably put the big camera up. There we go. And thank you for watching. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Really helps the channel grow. We're over 500 subs, by the way. We've hit that number. Just hit it. So good. Thank you so much, all those who subscribe to the channel. So happy to pass that threshold, that 500 threshold, which means we're halfway to 1,000 subscribers, which I believe is what the YouTube gods require for is the monetization stuff? I don't know. Who knows? I'll figure that out once I reach that number. But well, thank you so much for my subscribers, and if you watch this video and subscribe, please consider doing so. Really helps the channel grow. We're growing, getting up there. Thank you so much. Alright, I got Keys of the Golden Vault to read now and do a video on, and I still gotta go back and do Dragon Age. I did a bunch of work on it, but then I got busy, and I need to go back and catch up on that. So, woof. Okay, I'm gonna get back to that. I'll leave you to it. Until next time, happy gaming, and see ya.